Hello, Reject Nation. I'm Greg Alba. Brianne Chandler is here from Miss Movies YouTube channel. She was actually just on Movie Fights. What was it, last week? 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, that sounds about right.
You should tune in to see how she did. She did terribly.
Yeah, terribly is what I would
say. You gotta downplay
full stop.
it.
Full stop right there.
Yeah. You can see her in the Schmodown still. Yeah, you still I forget. Did I ever clarify that with you? You still compete in the Schmodown?
You can see me. I do the post-interview match between Nick Scarpino and Josh McCouga.
Okay.
Which is the undercard of William Bibiani and Drew McWeeny just last Friday.
You're gonna be attending our Collider live show though, right?
I will be at the live show.
March 15th, people. She'll be there. I'll be there. I have to. Contractually obligated. Yeah.
Did you sign a contract?
I did. I don't do anything without contract.
Okay. Oh. Well, that's right, because it's full screen.
Yeah.
So you definitely signed
it. Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to watch today from one of my favorite YouTube channels. They do these great list videos. A channel called What Culture?
I've never heard of them.
Well, you're going to hear them today. 7 biggest movie set meltdowns. Christian Bale's going to be on here.
No, Lily Tomlin is what I was thinking.
Lily Tomlin, too. Yeah. I want you off the fucking set, you prick. Demonetization all the way.
A Hollywood movie set is no place for anyone with a short fuse, and some movie sets have descended into momentary chaos when the pressure has gotten too much for one of the actors or directors involved, and some other poor soul from the cast or crew usually feels their wrath as a result. Occasionally, these outbursts find their way into the hands of news outlets or wind up on the internet, and in some cases, they're more entertaining than the movie itself. I'm Cal from WhatCulture.com, and this is the 7 biggest movie set meltdowns
Audio sounds
ever.
Weird.
Number 7, David O. Russell.
Are there only 7?
Huckabees.
Yes.
David O. Russell and Lily Tomlin were like fire and gasoline on the set of I Heart.
Oh, I've seen the footage of that. I've seen the footage.
There's a few different pieces of footage.
An exchange that started out as a run-of-the-mill disagreement when Tomlin complains about being given too much direction, but later escalates into an all-out firestorm. Needless to say, Russell doesn't come off particularly well when he's tossing F-bombs and C-bombs in Tomlin's
And then when he comes in and out through the door, I just am like dying.
Really?
Because it's just hilarious how he enters into the scene.
Number 6, Lawrence Tierney. Reservoir Dogs.
Whoa, really?
The last thing you need when shooting your feature-length debut is a proverbial bad apple in the barrel. And that's probably a nice way to describe Lawrence Tierney during the filming of Quentin Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs.
Probably why he never came back.
The actor who played mob boss Joe Cabot in the film was a toxic influence throughout. From scuffling with Michael Madsen to botching his lines in almost every scene, Tierney was every filmmaker's worst nightmare.
Really?
It all hit its lowest point when the actor exploded on set. Tierney was complaining about working in the hot conditions and ended up physically shoving Tarantino after the director broke up another scrap between him and a co-star. Number 5.
Whoa, I did not know about that. That's probably why he never came back to a Tarantino film.
That makes sense. Patrick Bateman than John Connor on the set of Terminator Salvation. When cinematographer Shane Hurlbut walked into a scene the actor was shooting, leading to one of the most legendary on-set meltdowns of all time. The story
I downloaded that
before the star went thermonuclear on him. Bale says the matter was completely resolved and praised Hurlbut's fantastic work on Salvation.
Yeah, it's
Number
a great
4,
movie.
Martin Sheen. Apocalypse Now.
When actors everyone must have lost their shit.
The most famous?
Yeah.
It's like in the
he's
actual
drunk.
movie.
Yeah.
A moment of insanity during the development of Francis Ford Coppola's Vietnam War classic Apocalypse Now is a rare exception. Sheen was having a tough time in his personal life while shooting the movie, but that turned out to be weirdly beneficial when Coppola
recreated this whole scene.
Scene
you did, I saw it.
Yeah. And broke down while shooting
I watch your channel.
Thanks.
Sheen started sobbing uncontrollably and thrashed around, shattering a mirror and cutting his thumb on a broken shard. Understandably, the crew were freaked out and ready to abandon the shoot, but Sheen urged them to keep the cameras rolling. Number 3, Lucy Liu, Charlie's Angels. Ever wondered why John Bosley suddenly transformed from Bill Murray into Bernie Mac in the Charlie's Angels movies? The role is rumoured to have been recast for the sequel because there was a serious verbal warfare between the Ghostbusters actor and his co-star Lucy Liu on the set of the original. At one point in filming, Murray is said to have appraised his Angels, remarking on Cameron Diaz and Drew Barrymore's acting skills. But when it came to Lou, he simply said, "What in the hell are you doing here? You can't act." The actress's response was somewhat less angelic. In addition to screaming bloody murder at Murray, she is also rumoured to have launched a physical attack on him and had to be restrained by members of the crew.
He was just
Number
attracted to
2,
her.
Jerry O'Connell, Stand By Me. A marijuana-filled mishap
it could've
involving
been
a young Jerry O'Connell.
maybe making a
shut
joke,
down
Yeah.
and maybe, but maybe not. Who knows? I don't know.
2 days back in 1985. His co-star Kiefer Sutherland revealed all about the incident during an appearance on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. Apparently, O'Connell ditched filming one day to slink off to a fair, but it turned out to be a very different fair than the ones he was used to.
Oh,
This
man.
was one of those free-loving hippie fests.
What?
The only ride he ended up on was the trip he
Young
experienced
kid.
after partaking in some pot-infused cookies.
No.
He was in no fit state to continue shooting
No.
the movie about the discovery of a dead body, so the crew gave him the time he needed to recover. Number 1, George Clooney and David
I have
Russell.
heard on Three
Yeah,
Kings.
David O. Russell.
Three Kings.
David O.
David Russell has a
appears to have
reputation.
mellowed out in recent years, but for a time he had a knack for clashing with his stars,
Yep.
as he did with George Clooney.
He liked
on
pushing
Three
extra,
Kings.
I think.
Russell was generally being Russell throughout the shoot, which on this occasion meant handing verbal beatdowns to cameramen, script supervisors, and extras. The situation came to a head when a timid extra was reluctant to hurl Clooney to the ground in an action scene, prompting the irate director to act the scene out on him. This is when Clooney stepped in and faced Russell down, only retaliating when the filmmaker grabbed him by the throat. A full-blown scrap ensued, and that was the final straw for second assistant director Paul Bernard.
I did not
who
know about
quit
that.
on the spot. Reflecting
Whoa.
on the incident years later, Clooney said, "Will I work with David ever again?
I remember that.
Absolutely not.
Makes
Never.
sense.
Do I think he's tremendously talented? And do I think he should be nominated for Oscars? Yeah."
Hello there, you've made it all the way to the
Sweet.
end of the viewers. Part of my designated
Well, there's stuff-
A lot I didn't know about.
Wow, really?
I'm going to tell you that we have a number of other channels available for you to subscribe to, as well as other slightly, possibly not related.
Thanks, what
videos
culture?
to watch. So please do one of the things to my left or right. Otherwise, I have to pick up leaves on the roadside.
Okay.
That made
All right.
it really sad at the end.
Let's break a couple of these down. Okay, David O. Russell just had. There's more than
Obviously.
these two with David O. Russell. Like David O. Russell has a terrible
What other
reputation.
ones do you know?
There was one writer director. I don't want to say his
Okay,
name
you
because
can just
I've
say-
actually talked to him.
Sure.
But he actually has a TV show right now. He was saying how when he started making a big break, him and David O. Russell almost got into a fist fight during a press conference. And you can actually find this footage because David O.
my
Russell
God.
was just being a dick to him. And it surprises me that some people still will work with him consistently. Like, I haven't heard anything terrible about the guy in a few years. Around like the Fighter and Silver Linings Playbook. I haven't.
Right.
He seems like he's kind of chilled out a little
Maybe.
bit. Because Jennifer Lawrence
Well,
keeps
now
working with
that
him.
weed is legal.
Yeah,
helps,
that,
too.
that might help the guy out. But that footage, you can find that. I mean, you've seen it, right? The Lily
I've
Tomlin
seen
footage.
the Lily Tomlin one.
Because there's like multiple ones
Yes,
there.
from-
It's not just
Could
one
be.
scene.
It's like they're in the room and then they're in the car. And,
Yeah.
man, her
It is
yelling at him.
verbally abusive. It is so crazy. It surprised me that Mark Wahlberg, actually, knowing Mark Wahlberg,
Knowing
but
what you know of Mark.
knowing what I know of Mark Wahlberg, especially in recent events, it doesn't fully surprise me that he would still work with David O. Russell, because 2 out of the 3 movies where David O. Russell has developed a reputation for being a hothead, Mark Wahlberg was in both of those. Was in 2 of those movies, you know.
Yes.
But he just keeps returning to work with the guy.
They're compadre. They
They're
understand each
compadre.
other, obviously.
I hear that boy has a temper too, actually.
Yeah, that's
So,
what I'm saying. They understand each
I
other.
understand that sometimes you just gotta call someone the C word and the F word. I don't know. I don't get it, man. It did surprise me to hear about the Reservoir Dogs one. I never knew about that. Lawrence Tierney. I think what surprised me about it is Reservoir Dogs is, his big debut film. And most of the characters in there have had a chance to return in an upcoming
True.
or follow-up Tarantino film. And Lawrence Tierney being the head of the mob, I thought he gave a great performance in the film. So I thought like he would be one of those actors that Tarantino would eventually bring back. But this makes sense. Nowadays, no one would do that. Like, this is young Tarantino, directorial debut. If people are going to push him around, he might actually take it a little bit. But nowadays, oh man, Tarantino, I'm surprised he's not on this list, because I don't know if he's had like on set freakouts. There's footage of him freaking out on
Yes.
people on YouTube. I've seen at least 3 videos I can think of. One with a news anchor, one where he's at Sundance and the cameraman comes up to him, he spits at someone on the Oscars. Oh, that famous interview with that one dude.
No, it's my job to try and ask you to.
And
that's
I'm
all,
shutting your butt down.
And that's...
He has a wild ass temper, that dude. But I can imagine when you're like young and you're trying to make it happen that you probably let yourself get knocked around a little bit more. The Terminator Salvation one, easily my favorite. I've downloaded that audio. John and I will still
my
quote
ringtone.
it. No. Remember how famous it was, though?
It was super famous.
It was everywhere, man. Everyone was quoting it at the time. You just couldn't, because it was kind of funny in a weird way. I think it's funny because you just know how ridiculous he sounds. Yeah.
No! Don't shut me up!
Yeah, I have it on my laptop. I will still play it just to make myself
At
laugh.
parties, you know, just to say, remember this time?
It should be our Schmodown entrance. I think that should be our Schmodown entrance song. Yeah.
You're like, what is
And
happening?
start losing our shit on Christian. Oh, good for you. Martin Sheen on Apocalypse Now. They call this meltdown, right? So you always assume like, oh, it's about them like losing their temper or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, every once in a while you get a great improvised moment that's real and it works for film. And that's like one of the classic scenes of the movie right there.
It happens on screen. You watch it.
Yeah, and it's crazy to learn that after you watch it. Because
Have
I think
you seen Hearts of Darkness, the documentary about making Apocalypse Now?
no, I haven't. I heard it's a
So
bitch to
good.
make it. Was it
So
like
good.
a nightmare of a movie? I heard it was.
Oh yeah. It like almost did Francis Ford Coppola. How does he say it?
Coppola.
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 It almost did him
Coppola.
in. Like, he was like, I don't know if I can afford this. I might have to stop working.
And it's considered one of Hollywood's best movies by most people.
He lost Best Director to Bob Fosse that year for Cabaret.
Wow. I hope that's a question during our live match Thursday, March 15th at the El Portal Theater. Collider Schmodown. Attend it. Get tickets now.
8 p.m.
8 p.m. I'll be there.
I'll be there.
Yeah, Brianna will
I'm
be
not
there.
competing, but I'll be
Yeah,
there.
she'll be there. Bill Murray and Lucy Liu is something my mom told me about because she loves People magazine. She still does not read celebrity
My mom
news.
does that too.
Yeah, my mom will wake up every morning, blow dry her hair while reading People magazine, and she's the one who told me about Lucy Liu and Bill Murray not getting along. Do you think that was a joke he was making?
You know, I don't know the context, so she took it pretty seriously, which maybe it wasn't a joke that he was making. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but looking at it outside, not knowing any of the situations, and knowing him, sounds like it could
Could have been a real
considered
jab.
a joke, but also I don't know.
Yeah, because when I see Charlie's Angels, I'm like, Lucy Liu's acting level's on par with everyone else's
Yeah,
in this movie. I don't really know why Bill Murray would take a stab at her or something. It sounds like he had a crush on her and he was taking out his lust by putting her down.
Allegedly.
That's how men are.
Why?
Because we don't understand our emotions, Brienne.
You have to guard yourself.
We have to
You
guard it.
yourself.
Crying is weak, only anger.
In case of that rejection. Gotta guard it.
Yeah. Jerry O'Connell, I had no idea this happened, dude. How old was he when he made this? And
He
he's
looks
so
about-
young.
He's about 12, 13.
And he just snuck off and got high. Nowadays, that's not exactly unheard of. People do get high on set
Sure.
now. But for a youngin', a
The way
kid,
he did it is
Yeah.
also very interesting.
They say they have to-
some sort of hippie fair.
they said they had to halt shooting.
Yeah, 'cause
because
he
he
had
was
to
like
recover.
stoned. He had to recover, man. Was he not like aware he was gonna get high, or did he just like show
Maybe
up?
he just like ate like a cookie or a brownie or something, not knowing it was in there.
I would have loved to have been on the set for
The
that.
last meltdown I remember was Britney Spears and the umbrella and the shaved head.
That was the last meltdown you can remember.
I mean, that I'm not personally involved
Do you
in.
not go on yahoo.com enough? There's so many meltdowns all the time. One thing I'll add. Okay, you know, like Christian Bale, I think is the perfect example. A lot of people have heard that audio and immediately go, Christian Bale is just nothing but an asshole now. Like people will immediately assume he's just a bad person for what happened. And even the DP has come out and said like there was someone just bound to lose their shit on set one day and Christian was just the one who happened to do it. He apologized right away and all those things, but no one really cares about that. The reason why I think acting is such a fascinating endeavor for someone to take on is because Christian will play characters like an American Psycho, a pissed off Batman, like losing his cool. People be like, great performance. but
He's like, this is really within me.
but when he does it, when in real life, when he has a freak out moment, a human moment, everyone's like, what a terrible person that is, you know? All right, guys. Well, you can subscribe to What Culture, subscribe to The Real Rejects, click that notification bell to get notified every time one of our vids is up, because subscribe buttons don't do anything. And Miss Movies, you can catch her on YouTube. Every Wednesday you do a live show, right?
I do.
Wednesday, the 6 degrees.
10:30 a.m.
Tune in, people. I've been on it. John's been on it. I've been on the Film Therapy a couple times. Make sure to check her out, por favor, and on Instagram and the Twitters as well.
That's right.
And we have a Patreon. Yeah, there you go. That's the last plug. See you guys.